This will be the universal law of cause and effect.
Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is a name for a law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. The Kabbalion that was taken from. Many people live their lives responding to the events around them and never take the time to determine what is really important to them. This lack of goals or inner directedness places them in the position of being victims to the pressures of daily life. A major problem in their lives is lack of will and lack of clarity regarding goals or life directions. They are experiencing the results of the law of cause and effect without realizing that they have the ability to influence the effects of the law in their lives. The law of cause and effect is the expression of divine order in the universe. The law states that nothing happens by chance or outside the universal laws. We may not always be able to identify the many, often complex chains of events that produce specific effects, but this is the result of our incomplete knowledge. Events experienced may be the result of past life actions, the result of our present behaviors, or experiences provided from higher planes of existence to teach us how to master our intellectual and emotional behaviors. Cause and effect does not deal with things so much as it deals with events. Every thought that we think, every act that we perform, individually or collectively, has its direct and indirect impact on the events which are part of the chain of cause and effect. Everything is like an ecosystem, connected and performing flawlessly according to the variables affecting the chain of events. The law of cause and effect may apply to long-term or short-term outcomes. Karma is an example of the manifestation of this law. Karma that used to take lifetimes to come around now can appear within minutes following a projected thought or spoken word. While we cannot live outside the chain of cause and effect, we can exert our will and discipline to grow spiritually in ways which help us to use the law in positive ways.
And the next is on part 40.
While we cannot live outside the chain of cause and effect, we can exert our will and discipline to grow spiritually in ways which help us to use the law in positive ways. Each of us has free will, or the freedom to choose at least some of our behaviors. When we act, we have the choice of right action or wrong action, directed toward ourselves or others. Right action advances the cause of God or Spirit. Wrong action is an act that goes against the cause of God or Spirit. When we assume control over our thoughts and actions, we have moved toward mastery and the ability to live within the laws in positive ways. A common problem which leads to negative effect is that of living with unrealistic fears, anxieties, anger, melancholy, or worry. These are real emotions that we all experience, but if left unattended, they can consume our minds. These mental and emotional states will generate consequences by drawing events to a person that continue to perpetuate these experiences. As we move toward mastery, we are able to live by faith and remain in the light. Learning to listen to our physical bodies, emotions, and thoughts gives us the ability to recognize and deal with these irrational states of mind, seeing them for what they really are, and learning to bless them and embrace them before letting them go. Mastery of our emotional and intellectual behaviors must begin with forgiving ourselves and others. Harboring old grievances and resentments is a sure way of creating negative energies which will produce negative outcomes. Knowing how to heal old wounds in positive ways and moving into the light is an important lesson in the mastery of our behaviors. The universal laws are not barriers to our living happy and productive lives, but rather structures and guidelines for helping us evolve and become free. The law of cause and effect provides us with the knowledge that all behaviors produce either positive or negative results. What do you choose for yourself and for those around you? What kind of life and future do you wish to create? In the following transmission, El Morya discusses the law of cause and effect. Shalom to the children of light who are ready to become self-realized. It is I, El Morya, tending to today's lesson that is designed to bring freedom to the masses. I come on the wings of the dove and hold the olive branch in my hand, offering it to all who are willing to accept it. The olive branch symbolizes peace, as it is through peace that humans will master the law of cause and effect. If my humble gift is accepted, then the words in this passage will further your power, because they shall describe the steps required to overcome the bondage of the human soul. The law of cause and effect is complicated on the surface, yet simple within the order of the universe. The law briefly states that every cause creates an effect, and every effect has its origin in a cause. On the surface, it appears complicated because there are so many forces that can produce effects. For example, there are the thoughts, feelings, words, or actions produced in any moment of time that affect an outcome later on. Or there are forces set into motion from previous lifetimes or through genetics that must be realized. It is difficult to discern the cause when one is in the midst of solving a dilemma or learning from an experience. In the midst of confusion, what is important to remember is that all is created through perfect cycles of energy. This is truth because there is universal order in all things. That order says that everything moves in a circular fashion. This includes all experiences in every individual's life as well as the forces of nature. The law of cause and effect contains certain interconnecting phenomena that must be understood when proceeding on the path to mastery. These phenomena are the strength of will, the clarity of the aspirant, the fear of the unknown and its effect on events, forgiveness. Every person participates in creating his or her reality through individual actions. The difference between an average individual and a master is that the average individual is tossed about like a boat on a high sea, following the stronger wills of others. Masters learn that by using higher laws against lower laws and applying higher principles with strength of commitment, they create their own destinies and environment. Subconsciously, this is the state in which all wish to be. This, however, is a state few have achieved, because the hearts and minds of most individuals are not strong enough to assume responsibility for creating their own realities. Several planes of existence are operating simultaneously in the law of cause and effect. Everything happens for a reason. There is no such thing as chance. All occurrences are continuous and unbroken, although the individual often does not understand the reason for the event. The higher planes are those that build mastery. The lower planes are those that complete unfinished business. The soul stays on the lower planes of existence for many lifetimes until it has released itself from karmic debts and responsibilities that have been harmful to growth. When an initiate begins to assume a higher state of consciousness, the higher self, which controls the higher planes of existence, brings experiences and lessons to the individual that build character. Karma is dissolved and replaced by test of initiation to strengthen the soul. The higher self then defines personality characteristics that need refinement or strengthening and brings lessons with individuals, opponents, into a person's life to help that individual understand how to grow in the light. Such examples might include lessons in overcoming pride, asserting with love, learning unconditional love, controlling fears, surrendering ego to the will of God, controlling the emotional and or mental bodies, desiring to be of world service. The lower planes of existence are those that keep individuals trapped in the wheel of rebirth, lifetime after lifetime, learning how to complete unfinished business with souls they have encountered. In these experiences, the individual often moves like a puppet at the direction of another individual's stronger will. Thoughts and emotions from stronger personalities often cause the individual to act and feel in ways that coincide with that stronger will. If the individual is not balanced within with the yin female and the yang male energies, and is not self-confident through self-love, then that individual will usually bow to the stronger will for approval or from lack of courage. Fear or the lack of confidence are the primary driving forces that keep individuals trapped in this wheel of rebirth. When there is something lacking within, humans try to fill the void through behaviors evident in the outer world. The goal of mastery is to stay centered at all times and not to move to extreme positions of behavior. In this mode, the initiates understand that they can experience maximum power and overcome all odds, unless fate dictates otherwise. Will is needed to stay centered, calm, and peaceful at all times. This is how will is used to master the law of cause and effect. A master knows that any approach other than this one will never work. Moving to extreme positions of behavior only grounds the individual more firmly in the lower planes of existence. Taking extreme positions sets up situations through the will of cause and effect that continue to bring more of the same experiences to the soul. This occurs until the lesson to be learned is finally mastered, freeing the individual to move to a higher existence. In the law of vibration, it was revealed that higher vibrations consume and transform lower vibrations. Lower vibrations never can change higher ones, for the higher energy is always too intense. Since all actions create other events, the law of cause and effect teaches that the way to free oneself from events that appear negative and destructive is to begin the inward journey, monitoring all thoughts and feelings experienced.
There's a little bit more. See if I can
The
get it all
law
in.
of attraction.
Oh no.
What is hidden within will dictate